Grab your cup. In your life, have relationships historically been a source of stress? Have you had lots of serious relationships end difficultly, or you're in and out of relationships or with the same person? We're on, we're off, we're on, we're off. I want to talk about patterns in relationships specifically today. We have patterns in all parts of our life. What kind of parent we are, how we show up at work. We have all kinds of patterns. But in relationships, I want to talk about it. And it's not just our romantic relationships, although it really shows up there. But with our siblings, in our friendships, patterns of how we relate and how we emotionally attach to the people in our lives. So if you can see that, whether it's one long-term relationship where there's a constant sense of discordance or a disconnect, maybe there's not even discordance, but you're just not connected, or you've had several relationships and different people, but there's the same patterns show up. This is what this conversation is about. And if this does resonate with you, I'm doing a workshop next week at the end of the week between Christmas and New Year's. So if you're not doing anything at that point, come to the workshop, because it'll be a longer discussion with very specifics that you can look at for yourself. If you can't come live, you will get the replay, but you have to register. To get the link to come or to get the replay, you have to register. So make sure you check that out. But the patterns in relationships show up by the way that we attach. So here's what's so important to understand, is that human beings, all mammals, and human beings are a mammal, must attach to their caregivers in order to survive. If a baby and a small child does not have a caregiver to attach to in some way, they won't survive their life. So children figure out, how do I attach? What do I need to do to attach to the person who's taking care of me, because they're keeping me alive? So it can show up a lot of different ways, what we have to do, and how those people are will teach us, what do I need to do to attach to them? How do I get to feel safe enough when I'm around these people that I'm depending on? And then those patterns get carried right through our life. So here's what I'm talking about. Patterns like, if you're someone who, when your partner or the person you're in a relationship with isn't calling, are you like, okay, they're not calling, I'll hear from them when I hear from them? Or are you like, what am I doing wrong? Why aren't they reaching out? Why isn't what I need important? Where are they? You're very distracted. You can't focus on other things because you're waiting to hear from them. You might be a person, kind of the opposite, who's like out of sight, out of mind. Or when you're with someone, especially if it's that person who's always wanting to hear from you, and you're like, oh, they're too needy. I don't like to feel like people are needy. I need my space. What's so interesting is oftentimes two people that have those two patterns that I just gave a couple of examples of end up in relationship together. And then that's where the disconnect and the discordance is. One person would like to feel much more connected and in touch and all of the things, and the other person wants their space. It's interesting, and I'll tell you why in the workshop, why people like that tend to end up together. But if you have a pattern where, let's say it's a married partnership, but you live like brother and sister, there's not really any deep connection. There's a reason why that happens and why that gets to that point. So it's all about how secure we feel in ourselves, within ourselves, and what we need to do in order to feel secure with other people. So click the link for the workshop if you want to go into that. But if relationships are a source of stress for you, it does all boil down to what was modeled for you when you were young, how you learned to attach and relate to other people, how you learned to help yourself feel safe based on what those people were doing, and then continuing to do that throughout your life. And it's just not working with people now. Maybe it's what you needed to do with people when you were little, but it's different people now, and it's not working. Okay? So if that resonates, I hope to see you on the workshop, or get the replay if you can't come live. And if I don't see you, have a wonderful holiday season. If you celebrate Christmas, have a merry, joyful Christmas. If you don't, have a great end through your new year. And I'm looking to connecting with you as the next year comes into our existence. Have a good day.